all right. It's a party time for those out there. This is the first inaugural episode of the Martha's Sons video, man. So we got this idea coming live after our draft show. We had some fun doing it, so we figured, you know what, man, we'd like to talk a bunch of nonsense about a bunch of nonsense. So we figured, we'll share our conversations. So with me today,
Exactly.
with me today is the esteemed, the most camera shy person that I've met that didn't have, a whole mess of estrogen. It's my man Big A.
Yeah, definitely camera shy, but whatever, man. Either love me or leave me alone, right?
Yeah, I know, man. I like the beard thing though, man. It's getting real hot.
It's a bit wild. I mean, I'm getting to the Old Testament levels over here. You know what I mean?
You straight up like
Bible.
Methuselah.
Methuselah. Oh yeah.
Look at Methuselah go.
It's looking rough over here, man. I mean, and I tried to get to my barber before this all went down because I knew I was gonna look like a Wookiee. After things were all done. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
it's all good though. Whatever. You
It's
know?
all it's all good, man.
I'll see how far I can take this fro. Hey, my bad coming in and out of picture frame.
What are
I'm
you
an
doing
old
over
man
there,
trying
man?
to work on this. I'm trying to find a good angle to sit this damn computer at, and it's driving me nuts.
Are
You
you
know
on,
what I mean? It's like, God,
are you on the laptop, bro?
I do it. Well, Erica has a laptop. I got the iPad, but it's
Nice.
not. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna try and stick with this right here because
No, this is good, man.
right now I'm in, in my daughter's room. The only space I got in the house, bro. So
It's all good, man. It's all good, man.
yeah.
I'm loving the background though.
Yeah, man. I got my boys. I got Sasuke and Naruto up here.
Mm-hmm.
Looking fire, looking very demonic. If you mess with me, you got to answer to the Sharingan.
Well, you asked me like if there's anyone between like who would mess with you with those two, man, and I would say Jiraiya.
Jiraiya would, but Jiraiya, considering where they ended, I would say that their skills were
Oh, they oh they
their,
were
their skills surpassed his, but Jiraiya's a wild card. He could still pull it out. I would say if any two could pull it out, where they ended the series, Itachi and Jiraiya.
oh
Have
yeah.
those two up against Sasuke and Naruto.
Yeah.
Woo.
I would still give the onus to Naruto. But anyway, man, we'll catch back to that. So this show we're gonna try to take an hour of everyone's time here. The people who were kind enough to tune in, and hopefully they share the link with some people, and they can.
I mean, it's not like y'all have anything else to do.
Yeah,
Tune in.
I know. And then even after the corona is gone and you're able to go out, we still want to be like your midweek nerd fix. I think that's probably the
Yeah.
best way to describe it, man. Sports,
We'll be part of
nerds, life.
The Wednesday Warrior Club.
Yeah, yeah. We got a lot to say, but not a lot of qualifications to say it. But we say it anyway. That's what we do.
Yeah. I mean,
All
what else
right.
you gonna do?
All right, man. So that's I think we'll go right into our first segment, a little thing I like to call "What's Poppin'." So what's poppin' is basically there's a lot of things that are going on in the world, and we know there's politics, and we know that there's disease, and we know that people are dying and everything.
hmm
But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk some fun stuff. So. Um, as illustrated by both of our shirts that happened by pure happenstance. All right, Rocket, ready? Yeah.
Complete accident, people.
Complete
Wasn't
accident.
even trying to do it. It just happened.
So, to celebrate what I was reading today, I was actually on the Twitters, and I was seeing that there was some blowback because there was a reveal, a leak of the new Batman movie called The Batman, coming out next October, I think October 21st. They had some leaked footage of this guy's bat suit, and it was interesting to say the least. There was a lot of people who had less than enthusiastic opinion of this, so I figure I would
Mhm.
bring it back to the forum to see what we all thought, about it. So, hey man, what do you think about this thing?
Well, let me start off by saying, you know what? I remember when the Joker, when Joaquin Phoenix was first talking about doing the Joker.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And what he came up with as far as his aesthetics, and my first impression was, this is gonna suck. I don't want to watch this. This is like, come on, And I was just hating from the jump, and
Hmm.
I should have given it an equal opportunity, which I did. I saw it.
Hmm.
I saw it opening weekend, and
Of course you did.
blown away, man. I
Yeah.
mean, phenomenal. Everything fit aesthetically perfectly, and
Yeah.
Proofs in the
Yeah.
Pudding, it got an Oscar.
Uh huh.
So, as far as with this, I'm not gonna take it seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and again, I made the same mistake with Robert Pattinson in the beginning of this thing, man. I said, I don't want a twinkly Batman. You know what I mean? It's like, he already did the whole vampire thing. It's like, but I'm like, you know what? The dude is a solid actor. You know
All
what I
right,
mean?
man.
So
Yeah.
drop that hate. And but as far as the costume goes,
Hmm.
I love the bat symbol. I thought the bat
Yeah.
symbol for it was awesome. Um,
Hmm.
the guns that from the gun that murdered his parents, he made a bat symbol out of that.
Yeah.
Um, looks phenomenal. But I gotta say, the mask, the whole headpiece, I'm not a fan of. You know what I
Because
mean? It's
it got the
just,
jawline out there.
yeah, it's sticking out there, and he got this whole Daredevil look. So it doesn't look original. It looks like straight up like the Daredevil
But
uh,
but that was
mask from
that's always been
Netflix.
like Batman's look though, right?
Yeah, but for some reason it just rang out to me more in
Okay.
this way.
So
You know what
like
I
this
mean? It just
particular one is like Daredevil. Because if anything, you could say
that's
Daredevil ripped off Batman just from sheer age,
well, yeah, yeah. I guess you could say that because of
and Batman ripped
who's
off
been out.
Zorro.
Yeah, yeah.
All he
But
did
at the
took.
same time, man, it's like, look, if you're fighting crime and you're trying to keep your identity low, are you really gonna have your nose, your mouth sitting out there for everybody to
All right,
see?
hold
You know
up.
what I mean?
So first of all, in chat, and we'll get back to this. So we have a comment that Goku is better and stronger than Batman. We'll get back to that in a second. But so Aaron, this is your point here. Like if I were to hold this up, you would still know who
Mm-hmm.
I am, right?
Yes, just by voice and
Okay.
just by knowing you. Yeah, of
All
course,
right. So if I did this, would you still know who I am?
of course.
So there really isn't a good way to mask unless you completely cover the entirety of the face.
There you go, though. That's my point. This dude should be completely armored up, full tilt. You know
What,
what I
like
mean? He
Batman
should be the
Beyond?
ninja. Yeah, I mean, like, why would you want anybody knowing your identity at
I
all?
don't know,
You know
man.
what I
I
mean?
still I still think there's enough you can do to like when what Ben Affleck did, where he just went up and straight up disguised his voice. That was, you know,
Yeah,
with the voice. There's
yeah.
things that you can do to mitigate that. First of all, about the voice, Batman shouldn't be talking anyway unless he's interrogating someone, and by then that person probably isn't trying to figure out who Batman is, and he's probably figuring out if I fall from this height, am I gonna break something or die?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You're definitely gonna be shook,
and
man.
this is and this is a dude that is in the night, man. Like he's acting in the night. You're not gonna be able to tell too much. He's all dark and everything. He's gonna go out
Mhm.
there. He's gonna do his bat thing.
Yep. Yeah. And you got to give it to the original OG ninja.
Yeah.
And that's how I see him.
Hmm.
And I guess that was my little beef. Was it's like, why would you?
Yeah.
I never noticed it as much with the other Batman costumes,
I
but
don't know. Maybe you're just looking for something wrong. But going back
man,
to going back to like what Chad is saying, is so Goku is definitely stronger than Batman. I will give him that.
without a doubt.
Well, we had somebody in chat to say like Superman just took off his glasses and that worked. And I was gonna I was gonna say that, man. I mean, let's be
Uh,
honest. Like the whole secret identity thing, is kind of a.
Yeah, him kind of coming out of his proverbial
Mhm.
closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? It's like he's trying to.
It's just it doesn't
I mean,
it.
they're doing something different.
Mhm.
You know, the thing I don't. What's going to piss a lot of people off though is, uh, I shouldn't say people, more like characters inside
Mhm.
of DC universe. People like Lex Luthor. You know, how could I not figure this out? I'm the smartest man on this planet, but you couldn't figure out. Dude, just take off his glasses.
Mhm.
Supposedly, when he put on the glasses, it was made out of. Supposedly, it was made out of some
Forgetful
Kryptonian
Ray.
um, material, and when he put the glasses on, it would kind of like it would change his face shape somewhat,
Mhm.
and and supposedly that was the excuse they came up with why people
Yeah.
didn't recognize him with those glasses on.
Oh
But
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
man.
He borrowed the same material that Eisen uses for his Zanpakuto. I mean that's something a little bit over the head for most of the people, but that yeah. I mean that's just an excuse, man. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but honestly, like when it comes down to it, like you said, like Lex Luthor couldn't figure out who Superman was, couldn't figure out who Batman was, right? Well,
Right.
maybe he already did. And he just doesn't care because he's smart enough to realize it's not going to matter. He exposes Superman. Does that make him not Superman anymore?
No, because he's Superman more than Clark Kent. So
There you go.
you
There you
know,
go.
so it's not gonna matter. We know, like everyone says, you know, at least well, the people who know the character
Hmm.
know that Clark Kent was always the disguise.
Yeah.
There was never Superman being a disguise. So
Yeah. Well,
um,
same thing with Batman, Bruce Wayne.
with the
Same thing
bat,
with most of
yep,
them. Yeah. With the only exception of that would be like Tony Stark. Tony Stark is Tony Stark first, and then he's Tony Stark playing Iron Man.
well, yeah, because he's a pompous ass,
Yeah.
but he's brilliant,
Oh, he is,
you
man.
know, and he's brave, he's tough. I mean, what is he up to like Mach 50 with his damn suits?
I don't know.
Seriously, man, like how many suits is he up to? You know,
But but
but
but speaking of these
I
suits,
get it.
man, that's probably the one thing that I'm not vibing on these suits as much as like I feel like they're getting a little bit too Iron Man ish. They're getting too mechanical. And
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you know, they want to see more Iron Man movies, or if he's going to be in the Avengers again,
hmm
which there will be someone with an iron suit in the Avengers again.
yeah, but
Eventually, the
why
next,
does the bat suit have to look so much like the an Iron Man suit? That's really what it looks like right now. You know, that's what I mean by it's like all mechanical. It's all like plate armor and everything, and it's just not the. To me, it doesn't meet like the Batman aesthetic. I think Christian Bale, the Nolan films, the Nolan trilogy, really did it well in putting a purpose behind everything that was in that bat suit, and it wasn't too over the top. You know, it looked the way
right,
it did because there was a function behind it. Like in the Dark Knight, he had those streamlined plates. He had separate plates to cover some of the vitals, but still had enough room for flexibility and
so
everything.
right, right, because you got to be flexible. You got to be able to move.
Yeah,
You know, get into tight spaces, or be able to kick and punch without being held back. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So, but as far as Tony Stark, man, as the next proverbial thing will be to go nanotech, which he has
yeah.
done already in the
Yes, he has.
in the comic books. The Superior Iron Man. If you haven't read it, phenomenal read, by the way. Um, but he was a beast in that, man. I mean, you have it around you, and you just bring it forth with some nanite tech. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um, Tony Stark, genius, R.I.P. You know, at least in the MCU.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking of like
but supposedly
MCU,
there's already talks about them bringing him back for some past scenes. Who knows? Next Spider-Man movie, Home Alone Part 3. Sorry, I keep fading, man. I'm like fading like a ghost back here.
yeah,
God,
it's all right. When one of the viewers says he's never met you before, I'm sure you've met Big A before.
what's that?
Oh, my one of my uncles, my uncle Steve, he's saying he's never met you. I'm sure you have. Um,
Probably throughout the years at one point.
yeah.
You know,
One of these days, man, when I come up that way and we go we go out shooting sporting clays or whatever. We gotta take him with us, man. You know.
Yeah, or do that escape room again.
Oh
I was
yeah.
fired. Oh, that was a lot of fun, man.
I
You
would like
know,
to take like you and Z to do that, but I'm afraid to see what Z would act like.
him would be freaking out. He would literally be banging his head. You know. By the way, if you guys don't know who Azim is, he's the the third member of this Holy Trinity,
Yeah,
and
he's the one that.
he's absent. Got
Yeah,
some family stuff going on. So
yeah, he was
all
all
is well,
about
Z.
it. He was giving us the name for it, and helping us
Yeah.
choose the time and the topics and everything. And then all of a sudden, yeah, I can't be here.
Actually, if you want to see in the comments, man, if anyone knows what our title is, what it's referring, and
Yeah,
hopefully you guys do, man. Well, we weren't. It's not too meta, but it should be meta enough.
it's meta
You know?
enough, man. It's meta enough.
Yeah.
So like anybody in chat out there who's listening, take a stab of what our title means, and once we get some funding, we will have a we'll make sure we reimburse you with a prize. That's if we get some funding. Right now, we are solely
Yeah.
funded out of our respective bank accounts, and
Whew, that's
I love all
that's
you
scary.
guys. I love all you guys, but we're in economic crunch right now, and chicken supplies are short, and
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
we, we gotta bulk up and everything.
Well, I mean, I could donate some weight, man. I mean, come on.
You
This coronavirus rate ain't going nowhere. It's just building. That's multiplying. But
have you
whatever.
been have you been pounding? Have you been putting on the Corona 15?
No, I don't think so, man. I'm just big boned anyway. I'm a
Yeah,
big dude, man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, no, but I've been maintaining the same weight. It's just, usually I get a lot of my exercise, believe it or not, from being at work because I'm constantly walking everywhere.
yeah. You are,
Um,
and they
but
shoving you into like the vents and stuff.
oh, well, vents. I mean, who wants to see a 300-pound black man in vents? Not fun,
Hmm.
dude.
Hold up, 3 bills?
3 bills, man.
You hit the 3 mark?
I hit the 3 bar. I've leveled up Super Saiyan 3.
Woo!
Yeah, yeah, that takes some skill, bro.
That is monster. That is beautiful. I am
It,
I am so proud of you.
you know what? I used to be ashamed of it. Not ashamed anymore. I don't care. You know what?
You wear
If you
it
don't
well,
like
man.
me,
You wear it well.
whatever, dude. Keep it moving. You know what I mean?
I couldn't, like I wouldn't know. Like I've seen you recently, and I'm like, there's no way you hit 3 bills. And like
No,
I
that's
would
the thing
never,
about.
huh?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that. When I tell them, they're
Mhm.
like, "What?" And it's just because it looks distributed evenly throughout me. You know what I mean? It's not like so much of my stomach or my legs or my chest or anything. It's just everywhere.
Yeah,
So
shoot, man. When I was 3 bills, you knew I was 3 bills. Like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't have that innate sexiness that you come rolling with, man.
Oh,
My bills, man, were rolled like a gangster roll. It was just there, man. It was out there. There was no concealing it.
yeah, but look at where you are now, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, still not where
It
I
is what
want
it
to
is.
be.
Yeah, whatever. Wherever anybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be something more or better. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta accept what you are and who you are at
Hmm.
some point.
For sure.
Wise words for the day, my friends.
All right, man. We gotta address the elephant in the room, man. So, we got a comment in the chat that you got a really nice background. Tell us a little bit about that background you have going on, man.
Oh, as anybody knows, anyone who knows me, I'm the anime fan, comic book fan, mainly DC. Not a big Marvel fan at all. Just throwing that out there.
It's true though.
Anyway, I love the Naruto verse, and I love the illumination of Sasuke. He has his purple evil glow, and Naruto in his bright energy form.
Hmm.
It's amazing, and it's a contrast of the two characters of what they represent. One is darkness, one is light. Doesn't get any better than that. And if you haven't seen the series, give it a shot. You know, you'll be pleasantly surprised. And I'm gonna say wholeheartedly, give it till episode 30 at least, so you're really
Yeah.
fully vested. You know what I mean?
Naruto,
Um,
man? No, man. Naruto got hot at like episode 5. It picked
it
up
did,
real
but it was
quick.
still, but it, after the Zabuza thing, and then it was just kind of like
Filler. It hit the
it was just kind
filler.
of episode to episode and get ready for the tuning exams. And when the tuning exams hit, it got fire. So yeah, you might be
Oh,
right.
yeah. Tuning
Tuning
exams are
exams were
awesome.
like early teens. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's about when it took off.
Yeah.
And then it was fire until it hit those damn fillers, man, which is horrible.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I will say this. As far as anime goes, man, I love Naruto. I love
Mhm.
the Shippuden. Man, Shippuden came in strong. After
It
the
did.
time skip, and when it started off with Sakura and Naruto coming after and having to fight Kakashi and everything. It started off real strong, and it peaked in the pain when Naruto
Yes,
fought Pain,
agreed.
and then the
Pain
end.
was Pain was the yeah, he was one of the best villains. One of my favorite anime villains of all time.
Oh yeah,
The dude was just, I mean, he was slaughtering family members just
yeah,
because he wanted you to feel pain.
hmm
He was bringing it,
oh
and
yeah,
but Naruto and his, you know, talk no jutsu
yep.
got out of it.
He did, man. He did. So I'll say this for my people, in chat, mainly for Mr. Steve out there. Um, the fights in Dragon Ball, especially Dragon Ball Super and the Frieza saga of the original Dragon Ball Z, are
Mhm.
probably the best fights in my opinion in anime. Like they are just phenomenal.
They are. They are.
As a
They
as a series, Naruto is a better series than Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
I would say even both. I think like the
Mm,
story, the character
that's a tough
development.
one. It's so different. You know,
Yeah,
power
but
scaling wise, completely different.
yeah.
The stakes are, I don't know. I guess in Dragon Ball Z they would be a little bit higher because it's dealing with planetary
Oh yeah,
destruction.
yeah. I mean the stakes are higher, but what's interesting is there's
But then again, Naruto was too.
yeah.
Naruto did at the end of Shippuden. They were.
Yeah, but come
So
on, man. If you had Goku in the Naruto verse, that it would have been it
it,
wouldn't even been close. It would have just been done. It would
no,
have been like a single
I
episode.
I don't even think he would have to even go Super Saiyan.
No,
To be
he wouldn't.
honest,
He
I
wouldn't.
think maybe against the QB, or any of the tail beasts. Maybe he would have to go maybe Super Saiyan 1. That's about it, man.
Yeah.
If he's going God level form, just just go home. Pack it up. Get the hell out of Dodge. Get the hell out of here.
Dude, you would just need to unleash a Kaioken, man, and that thing is over. It's done.
It's
Checkmate.
done. It's like, he's you know you have the god levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have the god. Superman, Goku, Saitama.
Satama. Yeah.
You have these dudes. The Hulk. You have these dudes who are just like, look, you're immortal, and no one's ever gonna beat you. It's like, let's just have them all in one big burst and battle it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's gonna win? you know, they'll they'll all grow. In my opinion,
Uh huh.
One Punch Man whoops them all.
Yeah.
You know,
What do you think, Chad?
that's my opinion.
What do you think, Chad? So you got Goku, you got Superman, Saitama from One Punch Man, Incredible Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
Darkseid. You want to put Darkseid in there?
Sure, why not? Gotta have a god. I guess
Yeah.
you throw Thanos in there too.
Thanos is a kind of a little puss compared to all of them. People talk about, oh, Thanos is so tough, man. Thanos in the DC universe would have got bodied by Batman.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Dark side would have been taking over the planet, but
Just because
or the Marvel.
just because Thanos has like a chin sack like
Man.
Darkseid doesn't mean that they're in the same league, man. They're not even the same sport.
You got 90-year-old man balls on your chin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't,
I mean, who
it's
thinks
gonna
that that's
sap your
design?
energy.
Who thinks about design, man? Who gets everything goes? You know what would look really good on his face?
Who the hell?
A sack.
Who the hell did create him?
It's not
It
Jack
might have
Kirby.
been no, it might have been Jack Kirby. Yeah,
Really? He
No,
cre-
no, no, no,
It
not
can't
oh my
be,
God, I'm
man.
talking
Jack
about
Kirby don't create
no,
sap
not Jack
faces.
Kirby. No, Starlin, Jim Starlin,
Maybe.
maybe.
I don't know. Anyone out
No,
there knows, man? Chat us up. Who created
I
Thanos?
want to say Starlin, but
But
yeah, I mean, he was dope as hell in the '90s. Everyone loved the Infinity Saga in the
yeah,
'90s, and everyone in geek culture at that time. And of course, at that time, it was not cool to be a geek.
yeah,
Like you were still getting beat up.
yeah.
Nobody
Well,
beat me up
we
because
weren't, man, because we're
I
who's be-
wasn't getting bodied by nobody.
yeah, who's beating me up? I mean,
But
I was literally eating other people. No, I wasn't getting beat up. I could take the
get in my
punishment.
belly.
Get in
That's
my
all right.
belly.
I think I took over for you, man. Somebody got to finish the job.
Someone's got to finish the dinner plate.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
come
no.
on now.
I'll say this though, like, as far as like an actual series, the character development in Naruto, like, Goku doesn't grow as a person; he just gets stronger,
Right,
right?
right. He gets
Vegeta,
better. He gets better tactics. Yeah.
yeah, Vegeta and Piccolo are the only ones that really had any character growth, and
Yes.
the stories, like the stake, yeah. Here's the thing about stakes. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this before, but sometimes when the stakes get so big, you lose a lot of interest. Like, use Naruto for example. The
Mhm.
stakes were literally the end of the world and the end of like possible multiple dimensions at the end of Naruto. And I cared
Yep.
less about that because it wasn't personal to any of the characters.
I agree with that. Had they shrunk it down a little bit and made it maybe not a planetary devastation thing, make it
Yeah.
like even beyond like destroying the village, like I don't know, like I mean I don't know what would bring people together or make the stakes higher or feel higher, but
Personal
yeah,
attachment.
I felt the same way. It was
Yeah.
like
It was
I'm
like,
loving the
oh,
action.
and then this, it was like watching a 5-year-old play action figures. It was like, and then this
Yep,
happened, and then this
yep.
happened, and then this happened. But like when
And
you
then
go
he
back,
shared all the chakra,
yeah,
and then he died, and he got brought back, and now he has this power.
and now
You
he can fly.
know,
Shut up, Chewie. Chewie just called us nerds, man.
oh well, he's on a nerd channel. So what does that say
Yeah,
about you, Mister Chewie?
welcome, Chewie. Hey, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. When my brother was playing with toys as a kid, man, I need to find like a toy analog here. I'll use a flashlight here. All right. He used to do this thing, man, with his like gravity defying thing. So he'd have two people fighting, right? And they'd be like, he'd be like, oh, then he jumps in the air, and then he's coming down, and then he flips back up into the air and lands over
Oh
behind.
man.
And I'm like,
Woo.
Chewie, you guy can't do that. There's got to be gravity. He's just,
Yes. Nah, man. Imagination. There is no law of physics.
yeah.
None of that makes sense.
But,
But it's fun though. Come on, like
yeah.
everybody balled out like that when they were a kid. I know I
Oh
did. I did.
man, I still do that, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Imagination, man, is the most. Einstein was right. It is the most powerful thing
Yeah.
on a human. So to be able to the ability to create and
Yeah.
manifest that creation. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Physics is what I say it is. Okay, Thanos. Let's calm down with that. Speaking of ball chin, Chewie's definitely got. That's why he has the beard, man. Because seriously, his chin looks like a big old sack of potatoes, if you know what I mean.
Good Lord, Chewie. Well, at least we know. I mean, it's like the hair migrates from up here and then just slowly just takes over.
Gravity. Gravity.
And hey, gravity's the son of a bitch.
What goes up must come down. Heyo.
Ooh.
I remember that one time Chewie called me Gravity because I fell off the bed. He goes, "Way to go, Gravity."
You gotta love brothers, man.
He says, "I don't look like Grimace from McDonald's." Are you saying Aaron looks like Grimace or Thanos? Oh man, don't get Aaron started, man. He lives in McDonald's. No, I'm just playing, man.
I am the McDonald's.
You should be the Chick-fil-A mascot for Halloween this year.
Oh God, no. I'm good. I'm good.
Why,
I'll
why not, man?
I'll stick with the Popeyes.
You like Popeyes better?
Popeyes is okay. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. Between both of them, I don't really care, honestly.
It's
I still haven't tried that chicken sandwich though, man. Every time I the damn chicken sandwich, I'm like, what is wrong with this chicken sandwich? People go nuts. So eventually, down the line, I'm gonna get to it, but today's not that day, obviously.
Listen, man. I had Popeyes once, and I had the squirts after that. I haven't had Popeyes since.
Yeah, I guess that'll be a deterrent, man. It's like, ooh,
It was just.
you feel like pulling your bowels in tonight?
It was like, oh, you gotta try Popeyes, and I ate it. I'm like, you know what it tastes like? Chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything like spectacular.
See, now when I was back home, man, in Boston, we had this place called Church's Chicken.
Churches.
Church's Chicken,
We have it down here.
unreal. I loved it. I was like, wow, this is so good. You know, I haven't seen one since I don't know '95. So it's been a minute. You know.
I remember going through my stomach issues, man. I used to at when we go to Burger King, I would need to get a burger. I would get like a chicken, like a broiled chicken, like the BK broiler. Do you remember that? That thing, it was like this big chicken patty, man. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got Church's Chicken in Trinidad, man. That's dope.
In Trinidad?
Yeah,
How the hell they gotta have it in Trinidad but not in Erie? What's up with that?
because it's Erie, man.
God, well, I mean, they got everything else here, man.
Yeah, but you know,
everything.
Erie takes like 8 years to get something.
Yes and no sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got that Sonic, so.
Yeah, that's been around the
So-
rest of the country for like 3 decades now.
Well, I remember seeing the commercials all the time on ESPN. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, what? Tell them what the Sonic is like. I want one.
Popeyes too.
Whatever,
Would you
man.
like
Bring it
Popeyes
on.
chicken, man? Are you a fan of the Popeyes? The spinach chicken? It's not really.
Man,
spinach
this-
chicken.
Yeah, I'll say I'll put Popeyes above KFC.
Yeah.
No, definitely, in my opinion. You know, KFC's alright, but
How about
whatever.
speaking of fast food, man? It's kind of funny. I've met one person in my life that has been like, you know what? I really like Taco Bell. 2 people.
Like
that-
love,
this
like
one
love
person-
Taco Bell. Or
Yeah,
like,
this person I work with, man, she was like, "Yeah, I just love Taco Bell." I'm like, "What is wrong?" Every time I eat Taco Bell, it's usually like, "Why did I do that?"
that's pretty much any kind of fast food, man. You get that after feel like,
But I
we'll
used
see how this is gonna come out later.
I used to eat that Jones all the time though, man. There's
Oh, the good old days.
yeah, there used to be a I used to get like the chicken chalupa and chicken gordita, man. I used to like, crush those things. And you know what? I would still eat one now because my taste buds are still telling me that they are a flavorful delicacy that I can get at any
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
This is funny though how your taste buds change over time, and not,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, things don't taste the same when you were a kid
Hmm.
as opposed to where you are right now. You know what I mean? Taste buds, yeah, they're
Yeah, they mature.
few and far between, man.
Like if you
No.
were to tell me as a kid that I would be eating wheat checks and raisin bran, I would have been like, "Are you kidding me, man? What's up with that?" Now, that isn't to say that I still don't dabble in like the occasional Cookie Crisp or Lucky Charms
Or Captain Crunch.
Yeah, I still
Come on
eat. Yeah,
now.
I still eat that. You know,
Come
Captain
on,
Crunch
Captain
is like-
Crunch.
it's like eating razor blades, man.
It is.
Tell me, your mouth is your mouth ever
Yo.
feel good after that?
Yo, when you're done eating it and like the roof of your mouth is just on fire and it's all swollen, but it's like, hey, my tongue's happy, but
Yeah.
every other part of my mouth is damaged.
It's
So-
literally like you've just taken a bite out of a rosin shuriken.
It's like, this is good, mom.
Yay!
Oh, out your mouth. Oh.
Why is my spoon red?
Ugh.
Oh, with the crunch berries though?
You know what? I'm opposed to the crunch berries. I like just a plain old regular Captain Crunch.
Oh
I'm
man, you
not
know
a
what that
crunch
is?
berry fan.
That's racist. That's racist
Oh,
against
I know.
crunch berries.
Well, you know, I'm kind of like Hitler that way. I like it all one
Homogenous.
regime. I like it all all one color.
Not me, man.
Yellow.
I've been mixing. Like, I have cereal upstairs, like this and this mix. I have corn Chex, wheat Chex, Cheerios, apple cinnamon Cheerios, some cinnamon toast crunch, and some frosted flakes, like all mixed together. This one.
What's even more impressive is your memory. Every single box of cereal you got right there. It's like, wow, that's pretty impressive, bro.
Well, I just you pour it in, and then as you get done, you pour more in, and you just keep adding more and more to it until it becomes a melody, man. It is literally like the Jackson Pollock of cereal.
Mm.
It's just a cacophony of colors that just.
It's a good word, cacophony.
Hey, I did
Good
go
word.
to college, man, so I am going to show the F off.
Oh.
No. And with the grit, no,
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, what did you get? Yeah.
Oh man.
No,
Yeah.
but
Going all the way back. Naruto, I think overall is a better series than Dragon Ball. Steve, if you're still out there, when you come down to visit, we'll watch it. It doesn't have like the Goku father figure. It's got some good fights in there. Pain, like the thing I think that makes the Pain fight so good is that it was real personal. Like he was doing this not only because of what Pain is doing to the village, but because Pain has been after him for his entire life, essentially, because of his having the Nine Tails, and then what he did to Jiraiya. Like there was so much like personal anguish and growth that came into that fight. That's why it felt so good. It wasn't the scale
Right.
of it. It was that every conflict has to be a resolution, right?
right.
It's just like real.
Because he's essentially fighting his brother in a sense, because they were raised, they were taught by the same sensei, and here they are battling each other.
But it's just like war in real life. Like the war itself, like a war itself is never the end. Like you can
No.
win all the battles you want, and you can still lose the war. It's the war is just a mechanism for resolution, and the same thing has to happen in the fight. And like at the end of Naruto, I feel like the fight was they weren't trying to resolve anything, or there wasn't enough for it to resolve because things kept getting introduced so fast. So there was no
And
resolution.
things get bigger and bigger. It gets. I mean, even now, I stopped watching the Boruto anime because I just, after the first two series, I'm like, all right, it's going to be all filler because we only get 12 mega chapters a year from
Yeah.
Boruto, which is horrible. But it's a solid series, man. As far as in the manga, it's a solid series.
Yeah.
And where they're at right now, it's like they're talking about they're still on the whole Osusuki thing, and they're talking about that they're like alien parasites, and their job is to go from planet to planet, absorb all the energy, evolve, and keep moving. I'm like, all right, but like you said, it's grand scale. It's nothing personal. You know what I mean? There's no, like, are these characters going to grow after all this? I mean, physically fighting wise, yeah, but emotionally and no, there's not going to be too much growth there. So,
Yeah.
well, then again, I don't know. I haven't seen it all, so
Yeah.
time will tell. Put it
Yeah.
that way.
So I will say this for the viewers out there. I will say that not every show is going to be about anime, and not every show is going to be about Batman. Eventually, sports are going to start up again, and that's going to take up a lot of our discussion
Oh,
as well.
boy. Fantasy football time, y'all.
Yeah, baby. Can't wait. Can't wait
Oh, I
to
can't wait
spend
either.
more money and lose it in your league to freaking Scott again.
Hey, the league is fun, man. The league is fun. I still, I only won the first 2 years, and then after that, it's been like,
I should have won
Scotch.
this year, man. I should have won. I made some bad moves
Yeah.
at the end.
yeah,
I should have
yeah,
won.
your team was.
I will say this, man. You know what I'm thinking about doing for the league this year?
What's that?
I talked to P about it, and it never really fell through. But I think we need to make a championship belt.
I think that sounds phenomenal. You
Yeah.
know. Just got lost.
I was like, where'd
Yeah.
you go, man? How
Nah, I had to turn some stuff off because I think that was part of the reason why I'm getting bad visuals. I'm like, God dang.
Oh man, Chewy wins. Chewy wins. Unfortunately, Aaron Hernandez will not be reuniting with Tom Brady in Gronk in Tampa.
Wow.
Oh, that was
That is
cool.
some. That's some pure Steeler crybaby hate. So
Listen, man.
stay on your side of the fence. I'll stay on my side of the fence. All right, Chewy.
Hey, man. I said before, I'll say it again. Patriots, or I think the Patriots are still going to win their division. I think Buffalo's taking a step back.
You think?
Yeah, like first of all, like Josh Allen, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I really don't.
I definitely disagree. I think he's on his way up. I'm not saying he's going to be Dan Marino lining up that way, but I think he's better than what most people think he is. Considering how he was in year one, year two, he took a big step.
He actually took.
Now he got year three, and he has a lot of his weapons coming back, and added Stephon Diggs. So, but Stephon Diggs, he fades in and out of games sometimes, so you never know when he's gonna pop. You know what I mean?
A lot of pressure on Miami to win this year. Can they handle the pressure? Actually, there's not that much pressure on Miami to win this year. I think Miami is just looking to get better.
No pressure on Miami. I don't think there's any pressure on any team in the AFC East because. Not even New England, because it's like, well, we don't have an offense, and all our draft picks went to mainly defense. You got a pretty solid tight end, but all defense, man. So I think Bill's amping it up for defense this year, and I think next year he's gonna try and hopefully at some point start building some offense,
Get
somewhere.
tanked for Trevor.
Oh God.
Stephon Diggs. She was like, it's pronounced Tay Diggs. Tay Diggs is the dude that got his face cut off in Equilibrium, right?
Yeah, it's like, get your black people right, Chewy.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't all look the same, Chewy.
God, what's wrong with you?
So, Aaron, man, do all white people look the same?
Oh, well, depends, Nah. Nah, it's, you know what it is, man? It's like too many countries, and
we all just
people procreating there in their own countries, and they have a different look. Pretty sure the people from Sweden and where all the Vikings inhabited look very different from the people in France.
Not really, man. They all look like bitches to me. But yeah, no. Buffalo though, like Josh Allen, like he played okay last year, but he strikes me more as like a strong arm Chad Pennington as opposed to like a real big.
But he can run though. This dude got legs.
Yeah, he got legs,
can run.
but that ain't gonna. How, other than like Steve Young, how many great running quarterbacks have there been?
Great running quarterbacks. I guess the first one that will come to mind would be Mike Vick, but
he wasn't great.
I
mean, he was good for a few
years. He was. I remember that playoff game when he won. He won in Green Bay.
But remember, his best game as a pro, his best season as a pro came when he was in Philadelphia and he was throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham, his best season was in Minnesota.
With the first year with Randy Moss's first year.
Yeah, when all he had
him and Chris Carter.
Like in the vicinity, if you threw in the same area code as Randy Moss, he was coming down with it.
Yeah. He just had that ball sense,
He was great at dog fights.
And of course now, you got Lamar Jackson, who just won the MVP, and I want to see him continue to grow. And what's more impressive about Lamar Jackson is the hunger, man. He wants to just keep learning and getting better, and I see that fire in his eyes, and he is terrifying. You know what I mean? He's gonna be around for a long time.
He surprised me with how well he's actually been able to throw the ball.
Yeah. Same here.
But I will say this: he's gonna have a tough time in that division. Pittsburgh's defense is designed to neutralize him. They've got athleticism on all three levels.
Yeah, you guys just picked up a pretty dope linebacker too.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
But then, if you remember last year, Pittsburgh had them beat. If it wasn't for a Juju fumble in overtime, that was one of the Duck games.
Wait a minute. So they beat you guys twice last. They beat Pittsburgh twice
Yeah,
last season.
I think so.
Oh.
I don't know. Chat. Who helped out, or who won that? Did they split the series, or did they go 1-1? I'll let us know in a minute.
No, they split the series with Cleveland, which is surprising. Cleveland beat them in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that? And then, so that shows you what their potential was.
Who, Cleveland?
And yeah, and then of course you see where it all went. You know,
That's the one thing. Like John Dorsey, like I've said this before. Like last year, what they did, like getting, like everyone was going nuts. Like, oh, there's Odell Beckham. Like sometimes I really feel like so-called experts that are talking about the NFL forget about the concept of team. And the year before, when Baker was a rookie, they had a solid team that people like playing together and everything, and they were gelling together. And then John Dorsey made the classic mistake. Oh, we're just a player or two away. And then he brought in a bunch of this mercurial talent. He got like Kareem Hunt. He didn't need that because he still had Nick Chubb. Brought in Odell Beckham. Then brought in Jarvis Landry. He was there. And it's like you have all of these big personalities. Myles Garrett, for as soft-spoken as he is, he turns out to be, big.
And they're all young. They're all young players. So, they just got Austin Hooper, and he's pretty young too. Yeah. So you got a very, very young team, and hopefully they grow and get better as the years go on, and hopefully give that city some winning pride for once over the past 20 years. Probably 30 years. I'm thinking about it.
Maybe LeBron will come back again for a third time.
He would have been an amazing tight end, though, huh?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, people used to say Shaq would make a great tight end, and that's great. Shaq was like the most like the strongest person in the NBA. He would have been average on the football field.
Probably, yeah.
Like LeBron,
completely different.
Yeah, like LeBron is very big. He's very fast, very athletic. He's never been hit going over the middle before.
Not that we know. He did play football in high school, though. I think he played 1 or 2 years. Yeah. So
in high school,
and this region, man. Northwest Pennsylvania, the east of Ohio, man. Like, dude, football here it's religion. Yeah. People don't play. I don't know what it is about this area, but football it's ingrained in the people here.
Here in Texas,
and it shows. Yeah. So it's impressive.
It's one thing, again, it's one thing to do it in high school, but the hits just get bigger. Like, he's amazingly strong and amazingly fast. And he's a world-class athlete, like, no doubt, but I don't know if how well he would transition to football. You can't just.
I'll tell you what, it will be interesting to see him try at least,
Yeah.
Not that it's ever gonna happen. I mean, football is, I don't know. I think like 85-90% of it is mentality. You know what I mean? You gotta have that. You gotta have that will, and then the rest of it is obviously hard work to put in.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that mentality to want to destroy your opponent, get off the field, man. You definitely don't belong there. And I guess, well, Jordan was trying to destroy everybody.
Yeah,
and you know what? I agree with that era because now it's like everybody's best friends, and it's like, yeah, you can be friends like after the season. During the season, don't talk to me, man. I don't want to Friday nights with you. No, I want to be the best.
That's why you like your boy Draymond so much. He hates everybody, man. I saw him punch a mirror once because it looked at him funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him there. I mean, shoot.
So Steve said that Baltimore did beat Pittsburgh twice, and then he made the comment of most diva wide receivers never stayed with the same team because they're idiots. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this before, and I know it's a good thing Z isn't here. Otherwise, we would be talking for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I know.
Wide receiver is the most overrated position in football right now.
Overrated position.
Yeah. So the way that I kind of quantify that is on the football field. Like your value is determined by how many weaknesses you're able to compensate for. If you have a good quarterback or a great quarterback can compensate for weakness in the offensive line, can compensate for weakness in running, compensate for weakness in receiver, tight end, all of it. A good line can compensate for, a average, not so good running back. It can make a average quarterback better because they're going to have more time. And that's going to make the receivers better because now you'll have more dynamics. A good receiver doesn't necessarily make anybody better because he's so dependent on
that line and that quarterback.
Yeah.
Get him the ball, right?
Yeah, so
it makes sense. O line is imperative.
Yeah.
With anything, and lines on both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The trenches are still the trenches, man. Like you can't get away with them.
I'll tell you what's a pretty good line. No one's really talking about, man. Indianapolis.
Quentin Nelson.
They got hogs, man. The whole left side from center to guard to tackle. The whole left side, unreal. Those boys are huge, and they don't play. They move earth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't sleep on that team next year. Like they could. Well, I don't know. Philip Rivers is there, so he likes throwing like 4 or 5 interceptions a game. So.
Yeah. I still think he's a better quarterback than Jameis Winston, though.
I don't know about Jameis Winston, man. Nobody knows.
Who
the hell throws 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in a year? Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
The ultimate nullifier. What the hell do I do with that? Do I keep him? Do I let him go? Now he's riding the pine next to Brady.
We
at least
talked
for now.
about this. No, Jameis he's signed with New Orleans.
Did he really?
Yeah.
What? When was that?
This a couple days ago. Like today, I think was the first official day. Today or yesterday.
Oh, dude, what?
Yeah.
Well, good for him, man. You know what I mean? Good for him. Maybe a new environment could work out for him. He's been in the league 6 years.
Something like that.
Him and Marcus Mariota. Ugh. He's another one. Ugh.
Like I said this on the draft show that we did last week. The thing about Jameis Winston, I never liked him even coming in from college, and there was one reason why I didn't like him is because his behavior was indicative of someone who just continuously makes bad decisions, and just the things like he has a problem with decision making, and that translated to the football field. Like we did a comparison with like him and Brett Favre. Like Brett Favre threw a lot of interceptions. I think he's an all-time career leader in interceptions.
He is, yeah.
The difference between those two isn't that Brett Favre necessarily was making bad decisions or bad reads. It was that his arm was so strong, he just thought he could throw the ball wherever he wanted to at any point in time.
Right.
Jameis Winston strikes me as the kind of person that is just not reading the field and just throwing bad decisions. Yes, Steve. So Steve just says to me, I thought the Steelers wanted Winston. Hey, I'm on the record of saying that I thought Jameis Winston would have been a good backup for Ben to maybe learn from. Someone that could, carry them for a couple of games and see what would happen.
That wouldn't have been a bad gig. He could definitely learn a lot.
And he's just like, no, I don't want him. And I'm like, yo, I think he would have been a good backup for Pittsburgh.
I take him in New England right now. I don't care. Ain't no shame in my game. Like, come on, Jameis. Let's do it.
I can't wait to see how much junk you talk after New England wins the division again.
Let's just one foot in front of the other, man. I'm trying to crawl before I walk. You know what I mean?
I know. But
it was a fun 20-year ride. Never saw it coming, and it was great. Of course, being in this region of the world, and I used to be a Steeler fan before I moved here. used to, and that changed obviously.
Yeah.
But it is it makes it more fun, you know, because I don't talk smack. I just have to walk around and people know and they put their head down and just keep walking. It's like yeah, that's a good feeling right there.
Yeah. Well, as a Miami fan, all I can say is screw you. All right.
Yeah. See, now you have a right to say that. You definitely have a right to say that. The Steelers do as well, but we weren't playing them in their division. Patriots
Yeah.
were, yeah, they were
But
coming out.
there's
But then again, but then you guys, every time we play you guys in Miami, man, I don't think Brady has a winning record in Miami. I think he's
no.
500 at best.
Can't handle the heat, man. I'll I'll say the reason why I think the Steelers have a lot of grief. Like, first of all, it's a lot on themselves, man. Like they did a lot of it to themselves. They just couldn't get over the mental hurdle. But going all the way back to that first Super Bowl that New England won, they should never have even been in that championship game because of that damn
Oh
tunnel.
no, oh no, I totally agree. I was watching that game. I was over at DJ's house, man. We were hanging out, we were watching it, and I saw that fumble. I'm like, that's game. So I picked up my stuff, started leaving, and then 10 minutes go by. I'm like, what are they deliberating over? What is wrong?
Yeah.
And then they came up with that, and I was like, well, I ain't mad at you. I ain't gonna say nothing. Shit.
No, man.
I told after the Raiders, so I'm like, you guys got hosed. That was
I,
definitely a fumble.
I
you
gotta
know?
defend you. So, Aaron, to be fair, Steve says that maybe Aaron is not as cool as I thought. LOL. Because Uncle Steve, he's a big Steeler fan. He grew up in the '70s when the Steelers
Okay.
were the Patriots of that era.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, he's definitely have some grievances, with like that tuck rule, and then they were crushing Brady until they hurt Brady and Bledsoe came in and lit Pittsburgh up, and then that's when they went to the Super Bowl that year. So
Yeah.
it was just
Drew Bledsoe was our backup.
yeah,
I mean, come on, how phenomenal was that? You know?
yeah. But all of that said, it was Aaron does have an excuse because he was actually born and raised in Beantown.
Yeah, man. 20 years in,
Yeah,
it's like the minute I moved here is when they started getting good. So maybe I'm that butterfly effect kind of deal. You know, it's like you move to Erie, New England will win 6 championships,
yeah. You got
go to 9 Super Bowls.
New England winning 6 championships. The Celtics, what they win, 1 or 2? 1.
They won 1 and 2, and they won 1 in 2008. Bruins won
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 Stanley Cups. I want to say definitely 1, maybe 2.
Uh huh. And
And the
then
Red Sox, yeah, the Red Sox.
you've had it pretty good, man.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
good.
I've been spoiled. I've been spoiled. And and to Steve, hey, like I said, I was a Steeler fan. This is back when the bus was. He wasn't even the bus, man. He might have been a fan at that point. You know what I mean? And you had Cordell Stewart and Heinz Ward was young. Like, I like that team. You know, I like that Smash Mouth. It was coming here, and honestly, some of the fans just didn't do it for me. I can't stand them. Can't do it. And that was it for me. And here I am 20 years later. I don't hate him as much as I used to, but I hate seeing you guys win year after year. During the 2000s, I hated it.
Yeah.
Palomalu and Bus, and yeah, you guys are tough, man. You guys are no joke.
They had to do what they had to do. But
Exactly, bro.
I will say this: it's about time for us to wrap up. It's getting to be 9:30. So to all the viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna make this a weekly venture, right?
Amen. Amen.
So you
It's
got
gonna be at church.
you got clearance from the missus
Yes. For now.
for now.
And I'm hanging out in the severance room right now.
Yeah, that's all right, man. One of these days we'll bring you down here, or if I get up to Erie, we'll do a live, like in person one. We'll get it all set up and everything.
Oh Lord, with Azim. Oh, you gotta edit him out.
Like
No, how his
y'all
mouth is.
haven't met Azim, man. Let me tell you, that dude is a maniac.
Yes, he is.
When he said that,
And he's a big Steeler fan. Huge Steeler fan.
oh yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, he's up there. Like not quite as big as Steve, man, but he's more outspoken.
Really?
Yeah.
Not as big as Steve. Wow. Steve's a pretty big Steelers fan.
Yeah, he is, man. Like you should see him. Like when they were in the Super Bowl a couple of times, he's all decked out in like Steeler pants, Steeler wear, and he doesn't leave his chair because it's just Steve's a fan. Steve's a
That
fan.
poor bastard.
All right, kids. So on that
I'm kidding, Steve. You're cool, man.
on that note, man, we're gonna peace out. Tune in next week if you guys have any topics or anything you want us to cover, touch base on. Just let us know. This really what this is going to be an open dialogue, open conversation. And if you're ever interested in being a part of the panel, just hit me up and we can get you added pretty quickly. All are welcome. This is as much your show as it is our show. So
Amen, bro. Amen.
thank you again, man. And good night, everyone. And bless you all, except for the Patriots. Y'all can kiss my nuts.
I'll take it, man. All day. All day.
All day.
No problem.
All right, guys. It's fun, but we're gonna peace out. So thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Peace. Later.